Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Michael Ward from GMS Lake Charles Camp, coming at you again with another video through the Spirit. But before I do anything, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, who strive and taught us this truth, and blessings to you brothers across four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity. The title of this video is going to be called, You Have to Work for Your Crown. And as I was, at work today, a lot of people think that, something is just going to be handed to them. A lot of people think that when Yahweh makes their return, that judgment is not going to go out. That he's going to accept everybody for what they is. That everybody is going to, basically that everybody is going to make it. Not knowing what the scriptures say, not knowing that if you're not on the highways and byways, pushing this word, feeding the sheep, pushing 100% truth, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, you don't have a chance, man. If you're not doing the thing that pleases Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you have no chance, of getting that crown. It's not just going to be handed to you. It's not something that's just going to fall in your lap, So I'm going to start off with this one. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 46. It say, blessed is that servant when his Lord, when he cometh, shall find doing. Right. So blessed is the ones that will be working, when Yahweh makes their return, Not everybody is going to be found working, when he makes their return. A lot of people, have done put the Lord on the back burner, man. Just so they can, go back in the world, live it up on this side, thinking that they got all the time in the world. When really you don't, The Lord is soon to make their return, and it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, man. Because no one knows, when Yahweh is going to make their return. The only person that really knows, the only person that knows when he's going to make their return is the Heavenly Father, man. So a lot of people are going to get caught with their pants down. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 47. It say, verily I say unto you, that he should make him ruler over all his goods. Right, man. And that's only for the elect, only the ones that's, making their body a living sacrifices, man. That go out on the highways and the hedges, preaching this word, letting all people know, what pleases the Lord and what the Lord like and what he don't like. Verse 48, it say, but if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming. And a lot of people say that. A lot of people say, Yahweh delayeth his coming because he haven't made their return when they wanted him to. The Lord is not on your time, man. A lot of people get tired of waiting on Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. And by you getting tired of waiting on him, that's when you're missing out on that crown. Because it don't matter, if you, I don't even want to say that. It don't matter how you feel or when you want, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to make that return. You have to continue working, until he come back, This is 49. It say, and shall begin to smite his fellow servant and eat and drink with the drunken. The Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour when he is not aware, right? Because he done took his eyes off the prize, he done took his eyes off that crown, and by you taking your eyes off that prize, you're gonna miss out, by you, going back into the world, trying to live it up on this side, that's when you're gonna get caught off guard. That's when the Lord is gonna make their return when you least expect it. Look at like growing up. Your mom tell you not to go outside, but yet you still go outside. You know, you get caught off in having so much fun outside, not knowing, hey, you got to get back to that house. You know, and before you know it, you know, you done got lost in the sauce. Now your parents done beat you home. It's a consequence for that, man. Likewise with this truth. You know, you went back into the world, you know, done got lost in the sauce, you know, forgot what the main task was, and now, you know, Yahushua is making that return, you know, and now you have to answer, you know, for what you done did. Because you wanted to live it up on this side, not knowing that Yahushua is on his way. Not knowing that it's a penalty that you have, well, it's a judgment that you're going to get for, you know, holding on to this place, you know, for trying to, how I want to put it, for trying to enjoy this place, man. You know? Yes, it's okay. I'm not saying it's not okay to have fun, but you have to know the main goal, you know? People are leaving this truth just to try to live it up on this side, you know? Just to stack up, you know, bread or try to get a career up on this side, man. Not knowing that all this shit is soon to be done away with. Everything that this world has to offer has an end period on it. So you must, you know, continue to work, you know, continue to strive, continue to fight for what's really important, you know, and what's important is us getting up out of here, man. This is Revelations chapter 22 and verse 12. It says, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work should be, right, man? So ask yourself, what have you been doing? Have you been doing good works? Have you been feeding the sheep? Have you been keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability? You know, and if you have, you know, most likely, you know, you're going to get that crown, man, because you've been working for it. And the Lord promised us that, man. If we do the things that please Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, hey, that crown is ours, man. But if you haven't, you know, and you know, been trying to, how I want to say, get that vainglory on this side, trying to get validation from this world, you know, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be good for you. Because you forgot the main task. You haven't been serving the Lord. So by you not serving the Lord, you have nothing to look forward to but judgment. You know, the scripture said, behold, what did it say? Hold fast which thou hast, let no man take thy crown. You know, but you so stuck on these people in this world and what they doing, you letting them pull you away from what's really important. You know, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 7. It say, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. Put not off from day to day, right? Don't make no tarrying to turn to the Lord. And don't put off from day to day. Don't think that you have all the time in the world, because you don't. You know, you don't have as much time as you once have. That's why the scriptures say our salvation is nearer than we believe. We're getting we're closer and closer to salvation, man. Every day we wake up. You don't have as much time as you once had 5 years ago. You know? They say, for suddenly should the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed. Shalaki, thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance, right, man? If you haven't been doing what Yahweh Bashim Yahushua instructed you to do, you know, when he come back, you know, you're going to be destroyed, man. And you're not going to get that crown of life because you played around, you know, and you had an opportunity to. But yet you wanted to live it up on this side. You wanted to, you know, impress this world, not knowing that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is really all you need to impress, man. You need to be up on their good side. You know, you need to be up on the Lord's good side when he makes his return. That's the only way you're going to get that crown. You know, not being on the good side of this world. You know, not seeking validation from this world. You're not going to get your crown doing that, man. You know? This is James chapter 1 and verse 12. It say, blessed is the man that endured temptation. For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord had promised to them that loved him. Right? So whatever he was faced with, you know, whatever he was going through, he kept working. You know, he kept doing the things that pleases Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. You know, kept seeking out ways, you know, to get up on that good side. Kept seeking out ways, you know, to make his calling of election sure. You know, and by doing that, you're going to get that crown. You know, you have to continue to work for that crown. You can't get lazy. You know, you can't get lazy and you can't get too comfortable in this thing. We have to work, you know, because pretty soon, you know, I mean, you're not going to be able to, you know, and all the works that you've been doing, you know, you're going to have to answer for it, you know. And when I say answer for it, it's like everything that you do is going to be graded, you know. And if you ain't did enough working, you know, hey, you're not going to get to put your hand up in that treasure box, man. You know. But the ones that been working, you know, weekend, you know, weekdays, you know, early mornings, late nights, you know, doing everything that pleases Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man, they're going to have their hand in that treasure box, man, and it's going to feel great, you know. So we have to continue to work. You know, we can't get lazy. We can't think that, you know, the Lord is just going to hand us these crowns, because he's not, you know. Look at what the Lord has, you know, set up for us. Matter of fact, let me go grab that. Let me see. This is John. This is John chapter 14 and verse 3. It say, and if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, ye may be also. You know, so the Lord wants to prepare a place for us, man. You know, and where he at, you know, we're going to be joined with him, man. But in order to get there, we have to work. You know, it's just not going to be given to you. You have to work. You know, don't think that it's just going to be handed to you, because it's not. Ain't nothing that's going to be given. You have to work in order to get it, man. So, brothers, if you have this truth, you know, continue to work. Don't give up. You know, yes, the flesh might try to get the best of us sometimes. Yes, you know, we might be tired, but continue to work. Continue to fight. Continue to endure whatever come your way, you know. When a situation get too hard, you know, put it into the Lord's hands and keep going. Do not get lazy in this thing, brothers. Please, you know. But Lord willing, you know, that was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who strive and taught us this truth. And peace, safety, and blessings to you, brothers across 4 winds, pushing the truth and sincerity. Until next time, Shalom.